coming back here just for this. Holy sh...
Hey, what's up guys? Tip and Tara here from Fit to Travel, and welcome to our channel if you haven't been here before. And if you have, that means you are probably a subscriber. And welcome back. Today we are going to talk about Mexico, and we're going to talk about Mexico basically on the Caribbean side and the Pacific side, because that's basically the only places we travel to, which is, you know, the Riviera Maya section, which is Cancun, Tulum, Riviera Maya, and then also we've been to Puerto Vallarta and Cabo.
Yes. So we've visited all of these places at different times. So that obviously goes into how we feel about different cities and towns. And we'll talk about that as we go into this deeper. But when you travel to some of these places can make a big difference on how the weather is, how the peak tourist time is, and all of that. So keep that in mind if you're planning a trip to Mexico. Hopefully this will help you kind of decide on what you're looking for and when you should be going.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the best time to travel to each spot. So if you're going to be over there in the Caribbean side, the best time, like Cancun and Tulum, the best time to travel is kind of December through April, roughly. It's warm, but it's not too hot during those times. Hurricane season is roughly June to November. And then Puerto Vallarta, the best time to travel is similar, but it's December to March, so it's just a little bit shorter than that. And then Cabo is actually a little bit different, and the best time to travel then is May to June.
Mm-hmm. All of these places tend to be hotter in the summer. So hot and humid, if you like that, then that's also a good time to travel. But then also know that summer is just a busy time of travel everywhere. You know, schools are out. So keep that in mind. There's no wrong time to travel. There's just some rainy time and some hurricane time and some busier time. So
yeah, which we've learned that throughout our travels. I mean, it'll say this is a time that you should travel here, and then we've gone there, and then it's rain. You know, dump rain on us no matter where we go. So
yeah, and also some of those best times to travel are also some of the more expensive times. So. Correct. It may not work with your schedule or your budget to go there during the best time. That doesn't mean it's going to be awful. Although I would be careful in hurricane season just because you never know. But you can go whenever it works for your schedule and you can find good flights. So now we're going to talk about accommodations. So in Cancun and Cabo in particular, there's going to be a lot more all-inclusive resorts. Cancun is pretty in the downtown Cancun area, and in the downtown Cabo area, there's a lot of high-end luxury resorts. Whereas like Puerto Vallarta can have a good mix and also have some smaller hotels or Airbnbs that are cheaper. And also Tulum and Accommodations, which are a little bit off the beaten path from Cancun, where the main airport is, are going to be a little bit less expensive too. Tulum is getting pretty popular, so prices are going up. But because it's harder to get to places like Tulum and Accommodations and Playa del Carmen, all along the south part of Cancun, it requires like an hour drive from Cancun airport. So it's not as easy to get to, which means that it's not going to be quite as expensive as it is in Cancun. So a lot of times the proximity to the airport is going to be more expensive for ease, right, and convenience. So we have found in a lot of these places kind of if you can go a little bit further away, like away from downtown Cancun and even just 10 to 15 minutes like south or even more north than the main hub of downtown Cancun, you're going to be able to save a lot more money that way just on your accommodation. And you can still get around really well. It's just you're not right in the heart of everything.
Yeah. So the next category we're going to talk about is beaches / body of waters.
Bodies of water.
Yeah. So what are the beaches like? That's one of the most common questions that I get asked from friends and whatnot. And quite honestly, Cancun and Tulum, that area, Riviera Maya, is going to be a lot better because it is the Caribbean side. So, and we absolutely love Caribbean. If you've seen our videos, we just love the Caribbean. But the water is just so much better than the Pacific side, no matter what. Although that means that the beaches are going to be pretty busy because people are, going there for the beaches to hang out. The Cabo beaches also are pretty busy in general. We only spent a week in Cabo, but like when we were down there, it was pretty busy in the sense of just like restaurants and all that type of stuff. Like, when we went to the office, which I'm not sure if they're still open or not, but that was a pretty popular beach where they just had basically the whole restaurant was on the beach. Puerto Vallarta didn't really have like amazing beaches.
No, they're not known for the beaches.
Yeah.
They're known for kind of more like going on a boat tour or doing stuff in town. And the Cabo beaches also most of them are actually not swimmable. There's only a few that are swimmable because of how intense the waves are on that side. So that's a big thing. If you love to swim right on the beach, Cabo, there's very few that you can just go out and swim and like it's okay. So keep that in mind also. But I would say if you're looking for the best beaches, if you love like the turquoise water and the nice white sand, you need to go to the Cancun Tulum side, the Riviera Maya side, because that's where you're going to get that. It's easier to swim and snorkel right from the beach. Whereas Puerto Vallarta and Cabo, because they're on the Pacific side, just don't have that same blue water, white sandy beach. They still have great beaches. Puerto Vallarta, some of the best ones that we went to were from a boat. So we had to go out on a boat tour and like we went to like Yalapa and some of those places that are a little bit less easily accessible. So.
Yeah, but the snorkeling was pretty good, like you said, in Puerto when we got on the boat. Like there were a lot of fish, and like once you got out there, it was totally fine. But yeah, just as far as when it comes to just the beaches and hanging out, it was not up to par.
Yeah, Cancun and Tulum are more like go to the beach, hang out for the day. Even like Akumal or Playa del Carmen, you can just go and like hang out at the beach. Whereas Puerto Vallarta and Cabo, you can do some water sports and water activities, but they're not really known to be like huge lounging on the beach areas. Yeah. And water temperature wise, Cancun is generally on average the highest, so it's generally about 82 degrees, whereas Puerto Vallarta and Cabo, being on the Pacific side, are a little bit cooler because it's the Pacific Ocean. Yeah. Pacific Ocean is always cold. It's at least a little bit warmer in Mexico, but still not like Cancun and Tulum and the Riviera Maya.
Yeah. But if you're warm-blooded like me, it doesn't really matter. Difference is a couple degrees, no big deal to me.
Now we'll talk about some of the snorkeling in some of those places. Akumal has really good snorkeling. If you're on the Riviera Maya side, doing a day trip to either Isla Mujeres or Cozumel, you'll see some good snorkeling. We did like the underwater museum, which is kind of between Cancun and Isla Mujeres. That has great snorkeling. And then in Puerto Vallarta, like we talked about, we did a little day trip or a boat tour out to Los Arcos and Yalapa, and that was really good snorkeling. And I'm sure Cabo has good snorkeling too. We did not snorkel in Cabo. That was the one place we haven't snorkeled. So they each still have like some great snorkeling, some great things to do. Again, it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. But like we said, the best beaches are going to be Cancun, Tulum, Playa del Carmen area.
Yeah. And side note is Isla Mujeres is awesome. Mm-hmm. We got a video on that too. It's a long time ago. But that place is an awesome island to go visit. It's just you can take golf carts. You can rent golf carts and just go up and down the whole entire island, which doesn't take too long. Yeah. But it's a very, very awesome place to visit. So if you're in Cancun, it is just a must to take the ferry and go there and visit that.
It's called the Island of Women.
Island of Women. Yep, love that. All right, so the next subject we're going to talk about is our favorite, food. So this one is actually very, very easy. It's very hard to differentiate. Like we had a tough time sitting here and trying to differentiate, but it is just tacos, tacos, tacos.
Action.
So we're trying a taco asada from Tacos El Cunada. So good.
So good, it's all over your lips.
Mm-hmm. What do they call it? Birria?
Action.
So next is a birria taco, which is a slow cooked. This is beef, and it's a crispy tortilla.
Looks so good. Looks so good. Gordita. Delicious. Oh man.
Burritos, whatever that you like.
Enchiladas.
Yeah. No matter what, there was no place that we've been that stood out over the other. We've been to Puerto a couple times, Cancun a couple times, Cabo just once, but like no matter what, where you go, it's all really good. We've done food tours in Puerto and we've tasted so many tacos. There's just no, I mean, honestly, it's just Mexican food. I don't know what else to say. It's all really good. There's no there's no place that we went out that just stood out like crazy.
Love that place in Cabo with the fried cheese.
Oh yeah, Las Guacamayas.
Yeah, that was good.
That place is really good.
But there's good places everywhere.
Yeah,
it's all really good.
Exactly. There's not going to be anything that's different to where you got to go to Cabo or you got to go here just for this place or this thing. Mm-hmm. It's all really good.
Yeah, all good, all cheap, relatively speaking. It's all good. Good tacos. One of my favorite. Okay, so now we're going to talk about weather. We touched on this a little bit, but we're going to get a little bit more in depth here. Humidity levels in these cities. Summers are generally always hot and humid across the board. Like we said, the hottest time to visit, so like on the Pacific side, July to September is going to be the hottest, and the Yucatan is going to be May to September. And remember, the hurricane season is generally like May to November-ish, generally. So, coolest time in both of these places is usually, December, January, February, the winter months. And then rainy season is along with the summer and the hurricane season, May to October. So, hit or miss, that's why we talk about like the best times to travel. Even though summer is when most people have the time off or their kids are out of school, it's generally hotter, more humid, and can be rainy. It's probably not raining every single day, but you'll get a good rain for 20 minutes and then it'll clear up. So generally we say, based on the weather, the best time, if you can, to go is going to be in like that late winter, early spring time, just because it's less busy, but the weather is also better.
Okay, so the next topic will be excursions. So we've done excursions at all these places in Cancun and Tulum. We've done the Mayan ruins, which is a cool thing to do. It was hot as all hell when we went there. I think it was like 95 degrees to 100. All right, everybody. That's how hot it is. Look at that.
Literally dripping sweat.
Yeah.
Even I am.
You and your brother, boy, you guys are the same.
Turtle nesting area.
Yeah, some might say we come from the same people.
That's right.
All right. Look at this, peeps.
Glistening. We're glistening.
I believe if I was in Mayan civilization, this would have been my house behind me right here.
With the hut on it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the iguana on the very top. See it on the hut? See it up there?
Yeah. So this would have been where Tara and I stayed. We had my parents with us, and they were dying. We all were dying. It was insane, but it was really cool to see still.
We went early too. And it
Yeah,
was
we
still
went
hot.
super early. It was hot, and there was this small little tiny beach when you go to these ruins, but everybody was on the beach, so it was really hot. It was cool to see, but it was super hot. A cenote, that was super cool. It's these caves with these just fresh water underneath and these big giant fish that were kind of scary. But yeah, it was super cool. You just get guided around this little tour. Golf is awesome if you are into golf like we are, like Tara's
also
getting
really
into.
hot when we went.
Yeah, that was also just crazy hot. X-caret. Is that how you say it? X-caret? X-caret.
It's not X carat. It's something. Yeah.
Anyways, Xcaret. It's like a big adventure park type thing. I don't know. We haven't been there, but you see signs on billboards as you're going down the highway like no other. But you know, we have no interest in that. But that's
pretty popular.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. Like there's ATVs or whatever. I don't know. That's something we don't do. But turtles is a big thing. Like if you're there during the right time. We were there in September-ish, and so it was turtle
Hatching
season. So one of the coolest things, one of my favorite things to say, one of the coolest things is when we were staying in Cancun, we could see out of our little suite that we had, we could see like turtles coming up into the beach to hatch. And so like one night we were just sitting there on a balcony, and we saw like this big giant thing moving on the beach. And then we went down there, everyone went down there, and we saw this turtle, and that it comes up into the beach, and then it spends, I don't know, maybe 20-30 minutes just like digging this giant hole. Like it's probably like a 4 or 5 foot deep hole, and it lays its eggs, and then it just turns around and goes into the ocean. It was one of the coolest things that like we saw. Like my parents were with us, and then we all just went down there and we just watched it just dig and then lay its eggs and then get out of it and then go down.
Yeah, it was really cool. If you can ever watch them when they're in the season of birthing, but it's really cool. And then a bunch of the like hotels and stuff, they do a really good job of protecting the turtles. So as they come up, you have to stay a certain distance away and you know, let them do their thing and be respectful. And also when the babies are hatched, you know, they do a good job of like making sure that they're okay and no one's harming them, but also like helping the baby turtles get back to the ocean. Yeah, because obviously they don't know what they're doing, and so it's a really cool time to be there to be able to see them and see the little baby turtles. Yeah, like when they hatch, like they there was a lifeguard that we became friends with, and then he was like in charge of like when they hatched, he kept them in this little thing in his little lifeguard station. And so there's little tiny babies. I'll pop up the picture right now, but Tara got to hold one of them. Just, you know, they wait a little bit until they get to release them back into the ocean. But that was one of the coolest things to see. Yeah. Which Tara just loves turtles. Wherever we go places, if she has a chance to swim with turtles, that's what she's gonna do. Also, like the Cancun area is Isla Mujeres, which we talked about earlier. That's an island that you must visit. So just make sure that you try to plan that if you have time to do that.
snorkeling, and then Chichen Itza is, I don't know, was it like 2 hours away? Or?
Yeah, it's a little bit further than the Tulum ruin.
Yeah, so it's another Mayan ruin that you can go to, which we didn't spend the time to go to.
One of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah.
But we haven't been.
Yeah. We haven't been to a lot of them, so.
I think we haven't been to 6, I don't think. I don't think we've been to 1. Anyways.
Grand Canyon.
Okay, yeah. So now Puerto Vallarta excursions. So we like Puerto for like the city life type. It's not city life. It's a old Mexican town feeling. But the town is really cool. So walking around the town is one of like the things to do. You can do a day trip to Sayulita, boat tours to Yelapa or to Los Arcos like we talked about earlier. The boat tours are really popular down there. Whale watching. So if you're down there, and I believe it's in the spring, is when the whales are down there. That's a really cool thing. You take a boat out and watch all the whales as they're migrating. And then another big one is the food tours, which we have done 2 of them while we've been there. And we love doing those while we're there. Vallarta Food Tours does a great food tour. They have lots of different options. They've even added like a couple overnight trips. So it's a good way to kind of explore some local businesses and local food while also just kind of walking around the town. So that's always one of our favorite things.
Yeah. And then Cabo. Cabo is really good for golf. We've been down there, and then we've golfed down there, and it's a really good experience. A lot of people go down there just for golf. I think especially here on the West Coast, it's easy for us to get down there. So it's a good little golf place to go to. And then the Arch. The Arch is a place that you can see from the main beaches of Cabo. But you can take a boat out there and then just tour. If you take a boat out there and you try to do one of the excursions, you can go onto Lover's Beach, which is only available or it's only present for certain times out of the day or something along those lines.
The tide.
Yeah, because of the tide. So there's only certain times that you could actually go onto that beach.
Well, and there's Lover's Beach and there's Divorce Beach, but I don't remember. There's a story there, but I don't remember the story.
Well, I guess you could Google that, but I'm pretty sure it's Lover's Beach that you can only go in every so often. And then Tara mentioned it earlier, but kind of whale watching down there. And then fishing. A lot of people like to go deep sea fishing out.
So now we are going to talk about the vibe and atmosphere in all of these different places. So in Cabo, it's got the big city vibes, but it also has that authentic Mexican feel. Can be a little bit more party town, like the downtown Cabo can be. If you're on the outskirts, it's obviously not so much party, but the downtown area, where they have, I'm blanking, isn't it Sancho's or something down there? They have some big
Senor Frogs,
yeah. So they have that, but it's still has that authentic feel. Cancun is, especially if you're in the downtown part, it's big city, crammed, touristy, party but if you get a little bit outskirts of Cancun, so Tulum and Akumal, that's when you start getting a little bit more of the smaller town, more authentic feel. It's generally less busy, more nature and jungly. Tulum's pretty jungly. So it's a little bit more relaxed and low key, as opposed to Cancun being a little bit more busy. And then in Puerto Vallarta, you have kind of the old town feel. Still feels very stuck in the 70s or something in the downtown Puerto, which we really like about that. There's a lot of Mexican culture. the food is good, and has the authentic vibes. So it's a little bit more relaxed than some of the other Cabo and Cancun. So those are kind of the perks or pros or cons, I guess, depending on how you look at it.
Every person's different.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, if you could put Puerto Vallarta into the Caribbean, like that would be our ultimate place, because it's the feel, the atmosphere of Puerto is like really awesome, and you just feel like you could actually live there. And then Cancun is just more of a Cancun, Tulum, more of like a destination type place, in our opinion.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Agreed.
So one of the reasons why we made this video is, we get asked quite a bit, like, have you been to Cancun? Have you been to Tulum? Where you been to Mexico? Wherever. And then people ask us where we've been and what's our favorite. So now we had to sit down and think about it. And each one of us is going to tell you what our favorite place is, just kind of list it off. So I will have Tara go first, so I don't influence any of her answers.
It's a tough one. List the whole thing, like one down? Or
just say what your favorite is. And
my favorite is Puerto Vallarta because of the feel. I do wish it was on the Cancun side or the Caribbean side because of the beaches, but I love Puerto Vallarta as a town. Yeah. Somebody keep going?
No, that's fine. I would actually probably go with Cancun, just because I just love beaches. Like, there's just no having a good nice beach, and then also being able to go to Isla Mujeres and then Tulum and the Riviera Maya, just in that section. Like, honestly, that trumps it for me. Puerto is awesome and it's closer for us to get to, but I just think the beaches and just all the things and all the things you can do on that side, that's just my answer. And then so I'd probably go Cancun, Tulum, all of that, and then I go Puerto next, and then Cabo would probably be last. I mean, we did Cabo when we were a lot younger, and I'm sure there was stuff that we could have done outside of what we did, because we weren't seasoned travelers yet. We probably would have tried to explore more.
We were poor.
Yeah, we were a lot more poor then.
A lot more poor.
we were poor then, but like we didn't do too much besides hang out at the resort and then go golf.
Yeah.
But
we parasailed.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought you were gonna die.
Yeah, so I'm not the best at heights, but we ended up parasailing. But there was just, I feel like Cabo is at the bottom of the list, even though it's not a bad place to go. But if you had to list it, I would go Cancun, Puerto, and Cabo. Yeah,
it really comes down to what you're looking for. If you're looking for really nice beaches, I would steer you towards the Riviera Maya side. Yeah. If you're looking for a little bit more authentic Mexican vibes, I would say more on the Pacific side. Now, there's obviously way more cities in Mexico that we didn't even touch. Yeah. And we understand that this is not a full Mexico overview. This is just based on the cities that we have visited. But it really depends on what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to see the turtles or see the whales or, that kind of stuff, it really factors into where you should be going. So we hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about any of these places in Mexico, just comment down below and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Thank you. Peace.